14. We all want to stand and say the pledge, please. Oh, that's a good idea. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, Sherry, would you swear everybody in, please?
Melody. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Okay. Can y'all hear me all right? Adoption of the minutes from the meeting on May 14th, 2014. Anyone have any additions or deletions to that document? No?
I'll move we adopt the minutes.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Yes, I wasn't here.
Okay. Motion carries.
You still would vote on it. You still vote on it. Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Additions and deletions to the agenda for today, staff?
Under request for notice of assessment, item C, case 14 CE 4771 is being pulled from the agenda. Dialogue with the servicers, I think we'll get compliance.
All right.
Under item number 2, request for board order, item number C, John Joseph Scott is being pulled as well.
Okay. That's all? Good. We'll move on to case number 14-CE-470.
You want to adopt the amended agenda?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Thank you very much. I move we adopt the agenda as altered.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll move on to case number 14-CE-4708. That is Causeway Oaks LLC.
This is a request for a notice of assessment for case number 14 CE 4708. The violator, Causeway Oaks, was cited for a violation of construction without a permit and without first obtaining a code compliance agreement with the City of Vero Beach at his location at 1735 20th Court. Service of the citation was provided by certified mail and is provided on file with the city clerk's office. The violation has not been corrected as of June 11th, 2014, and the civil penalty assessed on the citation has been paid. Enforcement costs are $39.17 and are requested by the city. An affidavit of those itemized costs has been filed with the board clerk. We request that the backup materials be made part of the record. Additionally, we request the board issue note of assessment for continued penalties along with the initial penalty, that's been paid, along with the cost of enforcement of $39.17. This was the gentleman that was in last month. He still hasn't been able to obtain his permit, but he is trying.
There's two costs of enforcement?
What's that?
Did I hear you say two separate numbers?
No, it's the same one.
$39.17?
Correct.
Okay. I move that we find the violation is as cited and the citation will continue, and the clerk can issue a notice of assessment of continuing penalties. The initial civil penalty has been paid, so we'll have the continuing civil penalties of $50 per day commencing from April 19th continue, and we'll also apply the cost enforcement of $39.17.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
May I ask a question?
Oh, yes, sir.
No, after the vote, I have a question.
Okay, great.
How soon will he be told that this is in effect, so if he
He
really
knows.
wants to speed
He
up
was
the
here at the
process?
last
He was in
meeting.
hearing last
knows.
month.
Okay, so he knows this is happening today?
He does.
Yeah. So starting today, the $50 starts accruing per day,
Well,
No, actually, it starts in April.
goes back.
Yeah.
all the way
It's
back.
backdated.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and what happens, the clerk prepares the notice of assessment, and then she mails it out to him, just regular mail.
Okay, regular mail.
Yeah, once the chairman signs, she
thank
actually
you.
signs those.
Okay, case number 14-CE-4691, Citrus Inc.
This is a request for a notice of assessment for case number 14 CE 4691. The violator, Citrus Inc., was cited for a violation of having a commercial vehicle abandoned within a residential district at 1735 20th Court, Vero Beach. Service of the citation was provided by certified mail and is provided on file with the city clerk's office. There's been no request for hearing on this citation, so hearing to contest the citation has been waived and the violation is deemed admitted by the violator. The violation has not been corrected as of June 11th, 2014, and the civil penalty assessed on the citation has not been paid. Enforcement costs of $30.23 are requested by the city. An affidavit of these itemized costs has been filed with the board clerk, and we request the backup materials be made part of the record. We request the board issue a notice of assessment of continued penalties, along with an initial civil penalty of $50 and the cost of enforcement of $30.23.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
I'll move it.
Okay. You're going to make
I make the motion
Yes.
to accept the recommendation to
See, you're
impose
making-
what we must impose.
Okay. Well, then can I second that? We need to actually.
Sure.
Can I? Okay, great. Well, I second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Case number 14E-4695, Gloria Montanez and Bank of America.
This case came before the board last month. Nothing's been done to the property. The weeds, grass, and undergrowth remain uncut. The pool is stagnant, asking for a board order so we can move forward, please.
So moved.
Seconded? Seconded? Have a second?
Oh, I thought you did. I'll second it.
You did. Great. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Case number 14-CE-0201, J.B. Jones.
This is a request for a board order for 13 CE 4457. Violator J.B. Jones was cited for a violation of excessive exterior storage of trash, debris, and other materials at their rental property at 1415 to 1417 38th Avenue. Service was provided by certified mail. The violation has been corrected as of April 4th, 2014, and the civil penalty assessed on the citation has been paid. Enforcement costs are requested, and they are $45.99, and we request the board issue a board order for all fines accrued up to this point.
This is where the lady was living in the shed in the backyard? Yeah.
This is the one where the husband was in last month and wanted his wife to come in and speak this month.
Just
And what's the total on the fines, Officer Ramsey?
I don't have the total. I thought I had done it, but I thought it was from April. I have too many days on it, so I have the wrong total.
Okay, well, let me try this then.
I have a motion.
Great.
We had a discussion about this when you were gone.
Okay.
This is where they cited the property owner instead of the tenants because they assumed they wouldn't get any money out of the tenants. And we were almost unanimous. So I figured we'd just continue our discussion today.
And they didn't show?
They're not here.
I'd double it then. The aggravation they caused us.
In my eyes, they weren't really the violators, but that's why I made a motion last time that we
They own the property, though,
assess they do own the property, yes.
so they're responsible, right?
Well, remember, once you've rented property to a tenant, they have possession. And a landlord can't just go in and willy-nilly deal with the tenant's property. Even if they want to evict them, there's no self-help allowed. You have to go through court. So for them to really, I mean, they could go in, I suppose, unless the tenant objected and do something about the yard. And I don't remember what all the violations were. But to start removing their property, even if it's outside, I mean, it is problematic for the landlord to do that.
So has the city attempted at this point, does anybody know, has the city attempted to cite the tenants?
I don't know. You have to ask the officers.
No, the tenant had been evicted. They're back now, but at the time they were evicted.
Okay.
And this is some of
This
them.
is why we go after the property owner as opposed to the tenants. Is oftentimes in these situations the tenants
Disappear.
come and go.
Question, is the tenant legally in that house?
Yes.
This is the one where someone was living in the back in a shed or something?
Yes,
This
ma'am.
is-
Well, let's hear your motion.
My motion was that we assess the cost of prosecution and reduce the fine to $100.
No. I don't agree.
The original
I do not
fine-
agree.
The original
Absolutely
fine
do
was
not
like
agree.
2,000 something. I'm just grabbing the number here, but
Well, the fact they didn't show today, why should we? I mean, these guys worked hard trying to get this to
yeah,
where
that's
it is.
why I agree that they should recoup their cost of prosecution. But again, we're not in the business of making money or
Making money.
punishing people.
Right.
Well, I understand that, but he kept trying to say, well, will you take $300? Will you take this? This is not let's make a deal. You know, I mean, he was in violation. He took his time,
Actually, he wasn't in violation. His tenant was in violation.
but
Correct.
Well, it
And-
seems to me unless we hold somebody's feet to the fire, somebody's going to slide past on this thing. And if we can come up with some kind of solution so that they don't slide through and this exists on and on and on.
Well, the property was already in compliance at last month's meeting.
And what is it, the state right now?
It's
In compliance.
It does. Okay.
But it was
Well,
only
is
in compliance as of that day. It had not been in compliance, right?
It had not, if I recall, the landlord on the very same afternoon had attempted to come into compliance. I think he lived
Right.
out of town or something like that.
Yeah.
And he had driven to the location and tried to do everything he could to bring it into compliance while still regarding the rights of his tenant.
That was in April.
That was
In
back
April.
in April.
And this whole thing started when? No, December?
I believe it was November, actually. Let me see. December 4th.
And what
How
is
about what if we reduce the fine to $300?
What is the grand total now that they owe?
We don't know. There was some confusion in the paperwork. It has to be re-added.
You don't have a calculator, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Just, I have 83 days. If you can check from January 11th to April, through April 3rd, if that's 83 days, if that's right, then I have the right total.
I'm going to calculate if you want.
And now.
Oh, he's got it.
Well, trying to find the calendar.
You could do day counter on the internet. and it'll
Did they contact us that they would not be here today?
No.
So,
Was it January 11th?
Lenient?
because it wasn't their fault.
It was January 11th,
We
right?
didn't do anything until,
January 11th through April 3rd, because they were brought into
When they were
compliance
notified, they
on April
came up on that
4th.
same night and things. Remember that was when the.
you said January 11th through April 3rd?
Because the lady's feet were sticking out of the Barbie castle or whatever.
I have 83 days here, but I'm thinking that's not
Left their
right.
feet hanging out the door.
I would be in favor of some kind of amelioration of the fine and yet send a message that we can't tolerate it and they should have moved quickly.
What was the ending date?
I do understand your position.
April 3rd, but you need to include that day.
I got 82 days.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 83 days, including April 3rd.
Yep. Unless I counted wrong.
it's 83 times 50?
77.
Is that how that works?
The total I came up with is $4,195.99. If that's at 83 days at $50 a day, plus the cost of enforcement.
What'd you get?
See, I think the landlord's hands have been somewhat tied too, because of the relationship, the legal relationship between the
Yeah, if
tenant
it's-
and the
if it's 83.
landlord.
That's correct.
I agree with you.
But just let them back in again
Counted
now,
83. I
right?
only counted 82.
The same tenant is apparently
Okay,
back
so that's the
in
correct
now.
total.
Same tenants back in the house?
Last you checked.
Last I checked, yes. It's been a couple months since I mean, I drove by and seen that it was still in compliance, but I haven't met with anybody, so
Okay.
it appears that she's still there, yes.
And of course, one of the problems you have here, if my recollection serves me, the owner that was cited did not request a hearing originally on the citation, correct?
Correct.
Right, so they waived a hearing, and that was an admission of the violation. So you do have that admission, and you have all they had asked was basically to have the wife come back in and ask for a lower fine. And now, of course, she's not here.
I just want them to take a look at the numbers real quick.
How about $500?
How about 2,000?
I don't see it. But
I mean, because he waited till the last minute to get anything done. It wasn't like, he's not the victim here.
My recollection is that the landlord actually went to the property same day that he was cited back in January.
If I could weigh in just for a second.
Sure.
I think there probably needs to be some type of penalty. However, having said that, I will say that they did have their hands tied. They were responsive, but they were trying to work between myself and the Vero Beach Police Department, and they were limited as to what they could do and the kind of compliance they could gain. It wasn't until the lady had left the property that they were able to, and they did that day.
That day
So-
being what day? Last month?
Yeah.
The day the tenant left, when they could take repossession of their house, that's when they fixed it.
They started working on that day. They have worked hard. Since that time, we've had a hard time getting them riled in as far as coming up with a total and ending this case. But as far as the actual compliance, as soon as they could, they did. But it was not until April that they could actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't for lack of their trying, because I was out there with them many times with the tenant and the landlord. It was just getting her to act upon it.
Well, I hear loud and clear what you're saying, and I would like to see this reduced somewhat. The number, I think we should discuss and come up with a consensus.
Okay. Well, why don't we try to meet somewhere then in the middle? All right. Mr. Noonan a moment ago said the fine would be $200. I'd like to make a motion that the fine be $500 plus the cost of enforcement of $45.99.
I'll second.
Could I get a
that.
second on that?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 No.
All opposed?
No.
Aye. Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
We still have a,
Yeah, pass two.
okay. Well, motion carried. Thank you.
So it's 500?
Just 500 plus the cost of enforcement. Okay, that was fun. Any other matters, anyone? Meeting is adjourned.